Now, I'd like to introduce our speaker so as not to interrupt our flow of our meditation time. We are honored to have Sarada Truvolu with us today. Sarada left a pharmaceutical career to seek spiritual realization. She will share her journey toward an enlightened consciousness through the discipline of meditation and explain how she managed this while grounded in work, family, and the community. She'll also address how she integrated that inner energy and realization, as well as common misconceptions about enlightenment. In her book titled Home at Last, A Journey Toward Higher Consciousness, Sarada details her journey and gives simple techniques to progress in any type of spiritual practice. She also provides signposts of progress based on her direct experience. Sarada believes being home at last is the ultimate purpose of this existence, and that we will all achieve that realization eventually. She loves to share her experience and vital message. We are honored that she is with us today to give us this message, self-realization, enlightenment through meditation. Welcome, Sarada. We look forward to it with great anticipation.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I think already you all know who I am. I first like to thank everyone that's involved in organizing this beautiful event today at your Unity of the Valley, especially Peggy Hendrickson for inviting me to come and speak today. I like to thank you all so much. I'm really pleased to be here today and to talk about a topic that's of interest for many people these days. Self-realization, enlightenment. Aren't we all want to know the truth? We all want to have that experience soon. It's like getting, going after, chasing. Some of them are even doing that. But you know what? What I like to say is self-realization, enlightenment is not something, it's a property of one. It is for all of us when it is our time. That's the most important you have to understand. By chasing or going crazy over it, you're not going to get it right away. It's like when we are ready, it will chase you rather than, we going after it. So we should relax and do what we can and live our life that's given to us in this dynamic creation of outer world, the life. We have to live as much we can do our best we can. So today I'm going to talk about, it's an experience I had gone through myself several years ago toward reaching exactly that divine essence within me, realizing that essence and connecting with the higher self, higher universal consciousness, what we call God. It's that connection has to be done, experienced for you to call yourself, I'm enlightened, or I'm there, I'm home. That process, it's a big process. Another thing I like to say, self-realization, enlightenment is not something easy. It's not something quick. It is not something pleasant. It's a messy business. I'm sorry to say that, and not mean to discourage you by any means, but there's a misconception out there that it is something, oh yeah, I'm going to self-realize, enlighten, and sit in that cloud nine. So I'm going to be perfect all the time. No, it is the ultimate process of human evolution. We all will transcend and know God, that we have been disconnected with him for a long time. We need to connect ourselves again and get back to living that way with the God consciousness, with that essential nature of being rather than egoic way of living. And that's what it's all about. That's the purpose, or why are we here otherwise? What's the purpose of this existence? This cosmic play. We're just puppets doing our work, doing our role, playing our role. So we need to, self-realize and get enlightened, and then live with that consciousness and proceed living in this dynamic creation of God. And that's the main important thing. So what happened to me? And how did I get to that point of knowing? How did I get to that realization? How did I get that experience? You can be surprised when I tell you, I wasn't a spiritual person to begin with. It all happened without my planning or without me chasing anybody or any teachers, gurus, or anything like that. It is something very, I felt imposed on me. It was preordained, more or less. It's like some things, we lead so many lives, something pending from previous life, then it comes forward, and then you need to pick it up in this life. At least that's what I was told with the teacher I had resonated with. I was a great meditator in my previous life, and I, have to pick it up this life and finish it, that journey I had started in my previous life, apparently. So that's why perhaps it had happened. And I was normal like everybody else. I was not, like I said, I'm never was a spiritual person to begin with, except believing in divine that guides all of us. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, my husband had a heart attack, rather young age, and I learned Reiki to help him in his post-op recovery period. And that took me to meditation, surprisingly. Deep meditation right away. I mean, Reiki was good and I liked it. But then afterwards, what happened was it sort of turned me into a meditator. I was meditating rather than my interest in Reiki has gone down. I mean, I did work with Reiki for a while and helped out my husband and all, and that was fine. But later, due to that, it became my passion, meditation. I loved it so much, that quietude, that silence, how I went deeper and deeper, just short period. After that, I was meditating and it became my passion. I was like made it a habit every day, and I started meditating from there on. That's how it all happened. And because of that, I even gave up my job. I was working in a pharmaceutical company. To me, there's nothing more important than that, and sort of like find out what's going on. What will it take me? Where would it take me? That type of a curiosity has developed within me, and that's how I started meditating. Now, sooner or later, after a certain years of meditation, I was meditating deeper and deeper. Unlike other people, I didn't have too many disturbances or anything like that. I was going deeper and deeper within rather quickly. And so that several years have gone by. Suddenly, what happened was, by then I gave up my job, of course, because I couldn't handle job plus home and plus, like, I was I was a wife and a husband. I have 2 children and everything. My kids were grown by the time this thing happened to me. And what happened was there's a shift in perception took place one day. Now, what do I mean by shift in perception? It is something that dropping everything. It's like a down the dumps, I felt. It is total disinterest, desirelessness, and all the wants, this, that, gone. And it's almost like nothing I was expecting out of the world. There's nothing I want from the world any longer. Desirelessness and dropping your wants is the first sign of shift in consciousness takes place. That's a sign number 1 that somebody's ready to proceed and move forward. And that's exactly what happened to me. And then I didn't know those days what's going on. I was totally confused. It's almost mimicked depression, actually. It was down the dumps. I was feeling like not working, not doing home chores, nothing, not interested in talking to people, mingling with people. Yet I had to maintain everything because I have a husband still waiting and at home. I had to cook, clean, do this, do that. All those chores are pending to do, which I never ignored. Never ignore what's in your plate first. That's rule number one. You have to keep going and playing your role that's given by God, divine. Without doing that, and you want to go after what is driving you toward, you're not going to succeed. That's what I learned the hard way. And I said, okay, let me finish everything, pretend I'm okay, though I'm not okay. It's deeper and deeper depression started, and I was feeling terrible within myself. And I didn't tell anybody, because if I told somebody, they'll say, go to the doctor, go have some checkup. Maybe you need pills, you need this. But deep down, something told me I don't need all that. It's something tragically going on with me. This is leading me towards a calling within me, driving me towards something very, very deep. So I knew that. I kept meditating and kept meditating. And when I felt this way, suddenly another thing happened. There is this inner energy woken up that we call Kundalini energy, I think, right? Easterners call it Kundalini energy, and we call it inner energy. That got awakened. It's another big mess. Like I said, enlightenment has three parts: awakening, self-realization, connection with the divine, total connection. Unification takes place at the end. So it's like a step-by-step process. Took me 8 years, 8 whole years going through all this process. Now about the Kundalini, that's a big mess again. Whole body will start vibrating. Whole system is heated up, like as if it's like something burning within you. And agitation, it is like heat, as if you have temperature, but it's not really temperature. It is something very uncomfortable. Normally, we deal with such small amount of vital energy, 25%. But when this Kundalini gets awakened, the rest of the 75% of light, heat is there. So naturally, the body, accustomed to such a low amount of prana, is not used to it. So it just sort of goes haywire. It sort of gives all these issues, agitation, vibrations, and heat that you can't even control, and you feel so uncomfortable. Your digestive system, all the systems within you, just gone back very bad, very bad. You don't feel like eating, you don't feel like sleeping, you don't feel like doing anything. I went through that for several months. Again, somehow managing everything. Didn't feel like eating, but I ate, because the body has to be in shape. The physical has to be in perfect condition for transcendence to happen. That I knew some reason. The insights are getting better and better. As if something is telling me from within that you got to do this, this, this. And I kept going. And I knew deep down, meditation is the only way you can subside all these issues. It will fix you. It will take you where you should be. Remember, meditation is effortless effort, focus without force. You relax and you meditate. Let that do all the work. So it did. I continuously meditated, increased my time to an hour and a half, morning, day, in the night. Whenever I get a chance after I finish all my chores, all my things I have to do and function well first. Finally, what happened? Slowly my inner heat slowed down, and the vibrations calmed down with deeper and deeper meditations I had continued on. And meditations took me to deeper and deeper and deeper states where you would think you were at home already, but you're not. That is just the levels of being has different. It's from a normal perception of reality to a permanently altered perception of reality you're going through. It is changing. Everything is changing. Everything is, moving you forward. And eventually what happened, I was meditating one day. By the way, I did all my meditations outdoors, where there is natural vital forces available for us. Remember, I said, when you're meditating, you get a lot more energy, a lot more focus, and it calms you right away. I used to do all my meditations outdoors. And then I went outside what happened one day, I was meditating underneath this tree, my favorite tree. I always sit there. And it was strange deepening had taken place. It's a strange, not normally how I go into that silence and relax, and all that. But it was taking me to a place where I'm not familiar with. It is total shutdown of everything, total no sense perception, nothing is working. So I was there, and then I was wondering what's going on, and I didn't know where I was for a moment. I didn't know what's happening to me, but sooner or later, I was in that steady light. It was illuminating so much, as if there's this bright light showing me you're home now, or you're, as if I was in a different dimension of beingness. My outer world was gone, no sense of where I'm sitting even, and the body consciousness is not there. I don't even know if I have this body, these hands, this body. So it looks like I have tapped into the finest fabric of consciousness, where you feel that's oneness of existence, the totality of the universal consciousness, where it just illumines and it just, kind real, how do I, don't even know how to explain really, in that depth of silence and tranquility is as if that is full of energy. I mean, that's what I should say. It's no thing, nothing, like expansion of consciousness, total size. Everywhere you see, you're at that. It's almost like you're staring at the sky, but there's no ending. It's just, and then you realize you're nothing but this energy, really. You're not this body at all, And it's where that primordial energy, I call it, where that energy, where everything springs from and eventually goes back into. That's what you tapped into. And that's what it happened to me. I was so stunned. I was so relaxed. I couldn't even explain to you. You can call it bliss, happiness, or whatever name you want to give it. And that's what it is. And the vibrational frequency is vibrating with such a refined frequency. You can feel it. You're feeling it. And actually, what we call bliss is that refined way of vibration frequency. That's what it is, the bliss, that's what happened. And God only knows how long I was there. Hour, 2 hours, probably. Finally, then something as if something is telling me to open my eyes. Something was telling me, when some people can take off at that moment. I know I've seen some people talk about beings don't come back to the body any longer. But there's some people, you have to come back to finish off what's pending to do. There's still issues that needs to be taken care of. You have to come back to the body and function again. And then finally, that's exactly what happened. I came back. I feel a little bit now. I can feel myself a little bit, but I fell down when I opened my eyes because it's not integrated, all that consciousness. It's like a river joining an ocean. Everything is together, right? All that has to come back again in one consciousness, one existence. You have to come back and function again. It's not an easy thing again. It is something very different again. It is, I can go on, but like I said, I wrote all this details in my book. So get a copy of my book, Home at Last. It'll tell you everything that I had gone through and everything that I've been. So what happened was when I come back after a while and after falling down, I was feeling a little bit better, integrating all that back to this form called body. It's an instrument we use to function ourselves, right? And I went back to do my work and get back to the kitchen, doing this and that. Nothing, everything feels still kind of bad. It's like tasting a nectar You feel you tasted a nectar and everything else, comparatively speaking, tastes terrible afterwards. You feel so good and you feel so light and you feel free practically. You're kind of like, it is almost like you don't want to come back. That's how you feel. What is there to do here? What is there to do in this game, this play of cosmic game? Doing our roles, cooking, cleaning, this, that, working, what have you. Nothing interests you after a while. It's like I said, it's from a normal perception of reality to a permanently altered perception of reality. It can bring about any amount of, problems afterwards. Now you're dealing with those now. That's what I had to deal with for a long time. This whole thing took almost 8 years when I had, unified with the total oneness of existence called cosmic universal consciousness. And that universal consciousness you live with again, you come back. And that also a lot of adjusting has to take place. And I had to live with that for a while. Didn't want to be here, but yet I had to function, take care of everything. Slowly, it spills over, mostly how to live your life in this outer world called life with all the challenges thrown at you. But once we transcend, we secure our existence and with infinite, where the communion with the God is continuous. That consciousness you live with. That consciousness you are doing all your tasks. And that's the idea why people say, get self-realized, get enlightened, because we're supposed to live with that higher states of consciousness, full potential. You can do anything you want. You make up your mind. Your insights get stronger. Your way of thinking changed. It's not about you any longer. You're functioning and seeing what is it that you could do for someone else. What is it that you can help out? What is it that you can do? How do you make a difference? And that's what becomes your priority afterwards, which is the case with me now. I don't think about myself any longer. I don't think about what I need to get or buy. All the desires are lost. Wants are lost. But you're still very happy, functioning perfectly fine. And that's the state you have to get into. And the one best part about that whole this transformation and transcendence, what is it? You don't need to come back. You don't need to, how do I say this? Reborn again into a form. That's the ultimate stage of evolution. You don't have to embody again and come back. God only knows how many births we have given. You come back, you die, you rebirth, cycles and cycles of rebirth. That ends once you get transcendence, once you connect and unify with the universal consciousness. That's the most important to remember. We don't want to come back. When you think about it after transcendence, after this, you'll think how horrible, how many lives we led. My God, you don't want to repeat that again. And that's how I felt. And that's how I live right now. At peace and freedom. That's what we call, right? The moksha, Easterners call it. It's that freedom we talk about. It's that connection with divine has to take place. Otherwise, hey, you repeat the cycle and over again. Evolution demands change. You want to do something with yourself and change your way of being, change your way of performing your spiritual practices, and always look for something, higher. How do you get to higher states of consciousness? How do you get to that egoic way? You can get rid of it. It's replacing that egoic consciousness, replacing with your own true nature of being. That's the best part about it. And you live that way. It's a beautiful way of living. And that's what happened to me. What I like to end by saying this is that it all depends on how we live our life, actually, from the beginning, you have to, because otherwise it doesn't come all of a sudden. Your time, it's like where we are in our evolutionary journey makes a big difference, how fast we move forward as well, because not everybody's, we're all moving at a certain pace. When we get that capability or capacity to transcend varies with each one of us. So we have to wait for the time before we can move forward and let that take care of us, so let's not think that chase all these things and chase enlightenment, chase everything. Just live your life the way we should, comfortably, with with everything. So when your time is there, it'll chase you. That's what I say. So, and you too will be home at last. Get a copy of this book because it's got a lot more details than what I just spoke about here. And every step of the way, how you take care of your body, that's the most important. A healthy body is a perfect body for transcendence. If you're not healthy, nothing will help you. Nothing. You can move forward with any spiritual practice for that matter, let alone self-realization. For that, you need a healthy body because everything you feel in this body, all this neurophysiology, all this nervous system, everything, all functioning within us has to be, in aligned properly. And mind, body, spirit, it has to be in perfect condition, perfect time for you to transcendence. It will unfold you. Something will happen by itself when you're ready. Something will start unfolding within you, taking you to different level of being. That's what happens. Thank you.